Guys Show. I'm Ben Gitty. Glad and Farley up here with me today. We got a great show lined up for you. All sorts of good stuff. We're going to be telling you about the winner of last week's giveaway of the awesome guitar made by this one over here. We're going to be giving a new thing away. A couple of things this week. Two of you have a chance to win this week. All you got to do, share this post, share this video publicly on your Facebook timeline. All right, let's do a little jamming. Well, it's the Gitty Guys Show on Cigar Nation TV. It's the Gitty Guys Show on Cigar Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CB Gitty. It's the Gitty Guys Show. 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 It's the Gitty Guys Show on Cigar Nation TV. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, taking time out of your day to join us here as we talk about cigar box guitar building, and the answer. No, wait, that's the wrong show. Sorry, I get confused. All right, so we're going to be sharing a how to play video from Shane Speal, where he shows off an awesome 4-string cigar box guitar tuning. We're going to be featuring one of the hardest rocking bands out there that play homemade instruments, Him for Her, who we had the honor and the pleasure of hosting here on the Gitty Mill stage this past November, I believe it was. They put on a heck of a show, and we've got one of the clips from that show that we're going to be playing for you here today. And then through some video wizardry, we're going to go to our remote camera out in the Gitty shop, where Glenn and Farley will be wearing the same clothes. We'll be talking about fretting. Farley does a lot of the fretting here at CB Gitty, and she'll be sharing some of her tips and advice on that. And then we got, again, a new giveaway. So might as well briefly talk about that right now. First, the winner of last week's giveaway was Eric Bushyhead of Nowata, Oklahoma. Right. Eric was one of the people who shared last week's show publicly on his Facebook timeline. His name was chosen randomly from the list of all of the 360-some people that shared it, and he's the winner. It was shipped out yesterday. It's on its way to Oklahoma. And here's how you can be entered for this week's drawing or giveaway contest. Share this video, share this live broadcast on your Facebook timeline or into a group or wherever onto a friend's timeline. And when you do so, you see a graphic on the screen right now. Make sure you choose to share it publicly. And the only reason we say that is that if you don't, we can't see your name that you've shared it. Facebook hides that from us. So make sure you do it publicly. You'll be entered to win one of 2 of our Gitty Lele kits. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck's he holding? A couple little white boxes with a label on them, one of them upside down. Who is this guy? What is this stuff? Well, I'll tell you, this flat pack box contains everything you need to build one of these beautiful little ukuleles that really sound great. This was designed primarily by Jason Munoz here in our shop with a little bit of a starting, here's what I kind of think, can you make it work, push from me. And these kits, all you really need is glue and a screwdriver and a little bit of time to put them together. And it makes an awesome little great sounding ukulele. It's the Gitty Guys Show. It's Gitty Guys Show. It's Gitty Guys Show. It's Gitty Guys Show. It's Gitty Guys Show on Cigar Nation TV. Woo! Jazz hands. All right. So yes, we're going to be giving 2 of these away. They've got a $59.99 retail value. So hey, share this video on your timeline, and you'll be entered to win one of them. So there's that, this week's giveaway. And again, even if you're not seeing this live, if you're watching it after the fact, you can still share it, still be entered. It'll be this coming Wednesday afternoon when we actually do the drawing. So you've got time. So even if you're not seeing the live broadcast, you can still get in on it.
Nice.
All right, so Farley, we got to get you back into the shop.
Yeah.
So let's, we're going to show you this video clip of Him for Her playing live on the Gitty Mill stage out here. It was back in November, and it's a duo, two people, Wayne Waxing and Lucy Tight. And they play, they hand instruments back and forth like it's a juggling act. One of them is a Lobo, built by Johnny Lobo, and I tell you what, they both wail on the thing. You were both in the audience that night. It was primarily a live broadcast here on the Nation page, but we had a small live audience, and you were both there. What did you guys think of that?
I thought it was amazing. It was really cool, really inspiring to see this couple kind of working together and just jamming out, and especially Lucy. I personally was really inspired. And they travel around in like a van.
They got a van. Their young daughter travels with them.
Yeah.
They've been over in Europe recently. They went through parts of the continent and over into England and been in Ireland and
Really
just
cool.
really touring around, and they've really got a tight driving rockin' sound. It's really great stuff. So we've got this clip lined up for you, then we'll be back to do a little more talking, a little more picking and grinning, and then Farley, we'll be seeing you again soon out in the shop.
Right on.
All right.
All right.
Here you go, Him for Her. boy, that is some good stuff there. Now, full disclosure, we couldn't hear it, but we were both there for the live performance, and man, I tell you, I'm blown away by the music they put out. All right, so now we're to the support corner side of this segment of this show. And what we like to do is take a letter or an inquiry that one of you out there sent in to us asking for clarification or for some how-to, share it, and then answer the question. So Nick's got it going to come up on the screen here, and it is from David in Tennessee. And he says, for the A chord and B chord, you show barring the 2nd and 4th fret. So this would be from one of the songs that had been posted probably by Glenn, but he says, I believe Glenn Watt shows in one of his videos that you can bar the 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th, and 12th frets for the C, D, E, F, and G chords, respectively. But your chart, meaning the one that we sell at CB Gitty, shows these last 5 chords played differently. Which one is correct? So basically what David is asking is, there are different ways shown in different places of playing some of the most common chords. Which one's right? Well, David, thank you for the question and asking it, and I'm sure this is something that has occurred to a number of people. And the easy answer, well, easy for me to say, is that neither is correct and both are correct. Neither one is wrong. There is no one right way when it comes to playing chords on a cigar box guitar, on a conventional guitar, what have you. So we've got an example of that. Glenn, you recently posted a 1-minute lesson for a great old song, The Old Cotton Fields of Home, and in that you use the 1-finger chords, moving the 1 chord. Now, for your lessons, for your 1-minute lessons, your 1-finger lessons, why did you gravitate towards that style of chording?
I believe it's the most inclusive way to get somebody to play their cigar box guitar. It's the easiest way to learn chords, to play songs with ease without having to learn too much.
So the quickest way to go from what's this to working out a little tune that sounds like a song is by using these movable chords that Glenn features. You've done quite a few different lessons now, featuring them in the most, what's that?
Not something I invented. Plenty of people have done it before me. Yeah. It's just something I've tried to highlight so to get as many people as possible to play the guitars that they're building.
But the idea of the 1-finger lesson, like specifically focusing on that, I think some credit might be given. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this song, The Old Cotton Fields of Home. Glenn, you're going to lead it. I'm going to try to sing and play along. Glenn is going to be using the 1-finger chords. Now, quickly on screen here, you'll see a diagram up on top there, the C chord. There's 2 versions shown. The one on the left shows using 1 finger across the 5th fret to form that C chord. The one on the right is the fingered version of the chord, not visible, that I generally gravitate to. Shane Speal calls these the lush chords. I'm not sure if he's making a comment on my drinking habits or what, but so fingering the chord out, and so if Glenn plays his, now these are tuned differently, but ignore that, listen to the tones. You can hear it sounds the same. It's the same chord, just a little bit different versions of it. And then there are other ways to play a C chord as well. But we're not going to get into those. We're going to do the Old Cotton Fields of Home with Glenn playing the 1-finger style that is in the new video. I think we got a link for it. And I'm going to be playing these other ones, and we're going to see how this goes here.
All right.
Good old song.
My mama would rock me in the cradle in them old cotton fields at home. It was down in Louisiana, just about a mile from Texarkana, in them old cotton fields back home. When them cotton balls get round
you can find all of the chord forms you'll need, I think, on cigarboxguitar.com. We've got free printable chord form sheets. You don't have to spend any money to get them. They're on there, cigarboxguitar.com. So,
and if I may, real quick,
yes,
I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's watching right now. I'm remiss for not having done that sooner.
Yeah.
Rob, Mark, Mike, Craig, I see you out there. Thank you so much, Charles.
Larry,
for tuning in.
Charles,
Larry.
all the.
It's great
all
to
the
see
guys.
all of you. You know for a fact that this is why we do it, is because you
Rusty.
guys are here, you ladies are here, everyone's here to be able to just interact and consume and to be entertained, hopefully learn something, and it really means a lot to us. We know that you have plenty of things to do with your day, that there's a lot of things that are drawing your attention, especially on the internet. That you are spending any time with us, all of this time with us, is really terrific for all of us, so thank you very much.
And I know that we know the timing of it. 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon isn't necessarily the most convenient. Before the show actually started, Mike Saunders asked, "Hey, could you guys do this at noon so I can watch it on my lunch break?" And thank you for the question, Mike. There's only one problem, one conflict, and that would get in the way of our lunch break. So for now, we're keeping them Fridays at 2. All right, so Glenn, during this next clip, you're going to be heading out to the shop for the Remote with Farley segment at the bench to talk about fretting. While he heads out there, we've got a great how to play clip for you this week from Shane Speal, the king of the cigar box guitar, who's been out there working the comments today. And before I forget, we've also got our own Nick Lanciano behind the keyboard over here. He's all for one, one for all.
Yeah!
It's always a new hat behind the camera, behind the keyboard there. So thanks to Nick, thanks to Shane for helping run this show. What else was I going to say? I think that was it.
All right.
So we're going to try to bring you a how to play every week from Shane. He's been working on creating the videos. And this one shows off a new tuning. Some of you may have already seen this because he did post it. It's a G7 4-string tuning. I meant to have a 4-string guitar so I could demonstrate. Basically, you take the second G, the middle G there, tune it down to an F. It gives you a G7. So take a look at this and a listen and see if you can't add this into your 4-string cigar box guitar playing repertoire. We'll see you soon, Glenn.
Hey, it's Shane Speal, and I got a really cool new tuning for you. It is a 4-string 7th tuning. It is a G7th, and it is tuned G, D, F, B. It's basically the same thing as an open G 4-string, where open G would be G, D, G, B, and it would sound like this. Well, all we're doing is lowering the 3rd string down 1 step to an F. Now, here's the cool thing about it. We're talking about blues, okay? And I do so much blues with my band. Well, we started using this tuning for a couple new songs that we're writing, and it gives us this cool, like, jazzy blues, Hound Dog Taylor feel to it, especially when using the slide. Because whenever we're used to playing an open G, if you do a slide up to the 5th fret, it sounds like just a G major chord. But if you're using a 7th tuning, it gives you, and it gives that dropped F. So, let me give you a riff to try out with this. The riff starts out with the old blues progression. And what I'm doing is I'm only playing the first 2 strings here. And I am strumming the first 2 strings, and I'm kind of dampening the other strings with my finger, or fingers, or whatever I can use to dampen them. And I'm taking my index finger, 2nd string, 2nd fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret. That's all the fretting you need. The old Sesame Street blues riff. So, you play the Sesame Street blues riff 4 times. Then go up to that 5th fret and go, and then go back down to the open. hit that 7th fret here. 6, 5. Let me play it the whole way through. So now you see where I put the slide. It goes like this. So much fun. There's a lot of things we could explore with this, but just get yourself one of your 4-string cigar box guitars and tune it G, D, F, B. And in case you want to know what strings I use, if you have a regular pack of electric guitar strings, use the A, D, G, and B string. Thank you very much. My name is Shane Speal. Thank you to my sponsor, boom, cbgitty.com. Okay, until next time, check out shanespeal.com. See you soon.
Welcome back. We're here fretting with Farley. How you doing, Farley?
Doing good.
It's been a while.
Yeah, crazy.
So now you've been doing fretting for this company for a long time.
Yes.
I'd say you've been primarily the fretter in this business.
Okay, yeah.
Now I see that this is your fretting station.
Yep.
And you're set up with fret wire and the fretboard, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But may I ask you, what are some of the tools that I see here that are favorites for you to use while you're doing your job here fretting?
Well, I love this dead blow hammer that we sell, and it provides just the right amount of, like, you have to hit them like not too hard and not too soft. It kind of like takes some practice to get it just right, and this really helps. Some people like the rubber side, but I like the metal side. What else? And the bullnose snips are awesome for, you know, getting up really tight and trimming them off. Yeah.
Getting up flush to the fret wire.
Yeah.
Now I see some of this. Actually, we have these coming in straight pieces of fret wire, but then I see some of them also have like a little bend to them. Some
That's
people
right.
call it a radius. I just call it a curve, but some of them have a radius to them.
Yeah.
May I ask you why that is?
Yeah. So I like to put it through this little radius bender thing. I don't know what the official term is for it.
Bend stuff.
It's bendy. But yeah, it puts a little curve in the fret wire so that when I tap it in, the ends don't stick up at all. So, and sometimes you also got to be careful. I don't know if I said this, but if you hit too hard, the ends will kind of banana up and
Actually, do you mind demonstrating that? Actually,
right? Yeah.
This is something that I have run into in the past. Is using too much force when I strike the fret wire with the mallet.
Right.
When I strike the fret wire, it will actually, because for whatever reason, I'm not paying attention, or maybe I'm irritated. Kidding. But you know, it'll bend that fret wire in the wrong place. Can you actually go over that real quick?
I don't know if they'll be able to see, but yeah, you got to just kind of tap it consistently across the fret wire and then snip it off and move along. But the radius helps to keep it just the ends down so it doesn't flare up, just a little bit extra.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any other tips? Now I can see, like, when you're done, there's rough edges, obviously with the cut. When you cut the fret wire, what are some of the tips that you would suggest using in order to take off like the rough edges of the fret wires?
Well, you definitely have to sand them one way or another, angle them. We can use this great little block file, you know, that we make right here. They're awesome.
And just out of curiosity, so this is like a fret end bevel file?
Yes, thank you.
All right, no, that's cool. That's good
Words.
Stuff. But, and I don't want to ruin this thing that you're working on, but essentially this, if I understand it correctly, this sets down, awesome. Yeah. This sets down on here, is that correct?
That's right.
And then by pushing it across.
Yep, it gives you just the right angle.
Right angle on the fret ends?
On the ends,
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Now, thank you for sharing all this with us.
Yeah.
All right. How many fretboards of necks do you think that you've fretted in your time here?
I've done a lot of fretting.
Close to a bajillion.
Probably a couple million frets, actually. I like fret wire. I like medium fret wire. I like extra jumbo fret wire.
All kinds of fret wire.
Lots of fretting.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here at Farley's Fretting Bench, and I hope to see you soon again back here in Gitty's workshop.
Yeah.
There we are, back live in the studio. Thank you, Glenn and Farley, for sharing some fretting goodness. We had a little bit of shenanigans there on the video side, but that's all right, because, you know, we're doing this ourselves. This is DIY TV, DIY programming. So thank you again for watching. I saw one question pop up there while they were talking that I happened to notice, and that was, do we radius our fretboards? The answer to that is no. For 3-string and the occasional 4-string that we do, we've never really found it necessary to get into radiusing. I know some folks do, and it's awesome, and maybe in a future episode we could talk about why you'd want to, but for now the answer to that is no, we don't, and it seems to work just fine. So I just want to talk a little bit for a few minutes here about a topic that's been coming more and more to my attention lately, and it's the theme of this is don't forget the primitive. Don't forget the rustic. Remembering where these instruments came from. Now, a lot of modern parts, like hardtail bridges and pre-wired pickup harnesses and fancy machine heads, they make it easier to build really professional grade cigar box guitars. You screw on the bridge, you mount it in, and you know, you've got something that sounds like a conventional electric guitar. And that is awesome. There are people, we've done, this was one that was built here in the shop with dual humbuckers and a hardtail, and it's incredible, but I challenge people, or I want to challenge you, that if you find yourself primarily doing those, occasionally take a step back and build something out of scraps. Build something out of parts that were never meant to be part of an instrument, never meant to be part of a guitar. Give a voice to things that were never meant to have a voice, and recapture some of that primitive, rustic origin of the cigar box guitar, of the homemade instrument movement that began long before this movement that we're currently in. And as an example of that, I want to read you a story about a man named Furry Lewis. Now, some of you have probably heard about Furry Lewis before, and there he is on screen in one of his finer moments holding his Falstaff beer. Furry Lewis was a blues man out of Memphis, famous blues musician who had a long period in the center of his life where he was kind of forgotten and then was rediscovered and recorded some more work. Well, Furry Lewis told a story about his first guitar that he built himself. And it's a story that other musicians, old blues musicians, have told. Shane and I had the honor back in January of hearing Little Freddie King tell the story about the first guitar he built. And Shane was on stage with him, interviewing him about it, and it was an amazing thing. But Furry Lewis, interviewer asked him a question saying, I heard there's quite an unusual story about your first guitar. Could you tell us about that? And here's what Furry Lewis said. He said, why certainly. The first guitar that I had, I made it myself, because quite naturally, couldn't have been no guitar if I made it, but I could make some tunes with it. He said, I'd taken a cigar box and tacked it down where you couldn't open it, and I cut a little hole in there in the middle of it, just like a guitar. Then I'd taken another guitar and got me a strip off of it like that and tacked it on there to be like the guitar neck. I got screen wire, just like you get off your screen door or window, and I had some nails, and I nailed them in there, in the neck part like you was tuning it. And the nails bent in there, and when you bent them like that and wrapped that screen wire around it, it tuned it up. And don't you think it won't, and that's where I learned. So that example right there of a young boy who became a famous blues musician, having the music in him, having to find a way to get it out, couldn't afford a conventional store-bought guitar, made his own out of whatever he could find laying around. For me, that's the kernel, that's the heart of all of this. And while I love the fancy solid body cigar box guitars, the amazing work that's being done by people like Daddy Mojo and Rob Roble and folks, my challenge to you as builders is occasionally step back from that, rediscover the roots, and really challenge yourself to make a musical piece of art out of something never meant to make music. So that's all I've got to say about that today. I'm going to bring Glenn Watt back on stage here, fresh from his stint in the CB Gitty workshop out there, doing a nice little segment. So again, thank you all for watching, and again, to be entered in this week's giveaway, share this post, share this video publicly on your Facebook timeline or a friend's timeline or into a group. And the reason you got to do it publicly, share publicly, is that if you don't, we won't be able to see your name and you won't be entered. We are giving away 2 of our Gitty ukulele kits this week, $60 value. You put it together with a little glue and a screwdriver, and you end up with this. Alright, well, before we leave you today, we're actually running a little late. We're a minute over the 30-minute mark, so just a few quick announcements and tidbits. We've got a photo this week from Matt Simpson, who was at the Greenville, South Carolina Cigar Box Guitar Festival earlier this month, and you can see here him posing with blues legend Mac Arnold, who was the headliner of that new festival. It was the first one this year. And it's awesome to see. Thanks to Steve Arvey for organizing that festival, and to Matt Simpson for sending us that great photo.
Nice job, Matt.
Also got a brief update for you on my buddy Conan down there in New Orleans. He was the until recently homeless street artist and cigar box guitar musician down there. Well, he's now got an apartment, and as of last week, he is building cigar box guitars, painting them using his unique artistic style. They are now hanging in a few shops throughout the French Quarter down there in New Orleans. So we're really happy about that, because this is an example, another example of cigar box guitars really turning a life around. And not the only example. Alright. Then we got Rob Roble, mentioned him a minute ago, our buddy down in Destin, Florida. One of his amazing high-end electric solid body cigar box guitars is currently being reviewed by Vintage Guitar Magazine. So
yeah,
Rob getting a little shot of the big time there. We're excited to see that review when it comes out, so congratulations to Rob on that. Festival wrap-up. We got 2 fests coming up in August. Seems like there's another one. These are the 2 I remember right now. The Ozark Cigar Box Guitar Festival, first year for that, down in Warsaw, Missouri, coming up on August 12th. AJ Gaither, John Nickel, there's some others are going to be there. And then we got the Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival in its 8th year down there in York, Pennsylvania. I've been there all previous 7 years. Glenn's been there for a few. Unfortunately, we're going to be up here in New Hampshire this year on that day for a local maker fair. But Shane Speal will be there serving as the MC and making the show run along. It's going to be awesome. If you're anywhere near York, Pennsylvania at the end of August, get over to York and check out the show. Well, I think that's all we've got. I'd like to re-congratulate last week's winner of the Old Glory guitar that we gave away, Eric Bushyhead of, where? Nowata, Oklahoma. It shipped out yesterday to Eric. So this is unscripted. I'm going to try to play our theme song out here on this Gitty Lele. Remember, we're giving 2 kits for the Gitty Lele away this week. Share this post publicly on your timeline to be entered. It's Gitty Guys Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. It's a Gitty Guys Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CB Gitty. It's a Gitty Guys Show. Gitty Guys Show. It's a Gitty Guys Show. Gitty Guys Show. It's a Gitty Guys Show. It's a Gitty Guys Show. Gitty Guys Show. It's a Gitty Guys Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.